Hello guys, in this video I will show you a way to set up your code and your projects for the DNP course. So it's slightly different structure than what you have in Java, so I figured I would make this video to give you at least a suggestion. You can structure your code in any way you please, but this is one approach. So in Writer we have what we call a solution. This approach also works if you use Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code. Or some other IDE, I assume. So I have opened Writer here. On the left I have all the projects that I've been working on. I can create a new, solutions. I can create a new solution, and it will ask me what kind of solution, and I will just pick a empty solution. There we go. And I will just call it DNP Structure Test. And then I can click if I want to Git repository. I don't want that. So let's create it. And this is now the result. So you can see it looks very similar to IntelliJ. Now in IntelliJ, which I have here, you had a project, and inside the project you could have multiple modules, and inside each module you had a source folder, and here you could put each exercise. So this could be exercise 1 for session 1, exercise 2, exercise 3, and so on. So that was a nice way to organize things. We can't do exactly the same thing in Writer here, but we can do something sort of similar. So I have my reload project. Okay, so I have my solution. I can go up here if I want to check the file system, and then I can see all the files inside this folder, or I can just see what's relevant to the solution. I want to add a new solution folder, and I will call this session 1. Okay, and inside here I will put my exercises, so a project for each exercise, and I will just create a new project. And doesn't really, so you can see you have a bunch of different projects types. This is a library, so this is functionality that can be imported into other projects. This is your very basic application. We'll be using ASP.NET Core web applications, so you can create different types of web applications, React, Angular. We'll be using Blazors later on. So there's a bunch of different stuff you can do here. And there's also .NET and Xamarin, so these are different things. We'll be focusing on .NET Core. So I just want a simple console application, and I will call this one session 1, exercise 1. And I could actually create a different directory here, I think. New folder, maybe. Session 1. Probably, we'll see what happens. And I want to use my latest one. I have other versions installed from previously, but I'll just use the latest one. Let's see what happens here. I get my my project. So because I picked the latest one, 3.1 .NET Core, it complains here, and I can go to settings, and I can go to build and toolset and build, and here I want to use the one here for 3.1. Alright, and let's click save and see if that changes anything. Yeah, so now it works. So I have one exercise here, and for each project, these kind of folders, I can have only one main method, which is different from Java. In Java you can have all the main methods you want basically, but here you have one main method per project. So for each exercise you'll have to create a new project. So I will just create a new project again here for exercise 2, and I will call it here is one x2, and it is in the session 1 directory, so that's probably fine. Let's see. Right, so I have exercise 2 here. It's pretty similar, no surprise. It's your basic hello world. For the next session I will then create a new session folder. I'll call it session 2, and here I can add projects, new project, and I want this to be in a new folder called session 2. There we go, and I will just call this session 2 x1, right, like this. And that seems to work. So this is my suggestion on how you organize your .NET course. You have a solution at the root, and inside the solution you create different solution folders. Now you saw me, whenever I add a project, I added the folder here manually to match this one. That's actually not necessary, but this just means that your folder structure, the physical folder structure, is actually identical to what it looks like in here. So if I go and show an Explorer, I have my folder here for the DNP structure test, and you will see that I have the folders here for each session. If I didn't create these folders manually, so when I create a new one, new project, it would initially just suggest like this, like that, and I will just say session 2 x2. Then you will see that it will x2, e2. Well, no surprise, it will be created inside the DNP structure test folder. Yeah, right. So I have session 1, session 2, but my exercise here is now outside. So I suggest you keep the folder structure. So there's a little more set up than in Java, but when you have to do this for each exercise, you'll quickly get used to it. All right, I think that is all to get you started.